Hello and welcome to Adventures in Venueland, an EVMC podcast. Join us for this all-access pass backstage and behind the scenes with some of the brightest minds that cross the scope of the live event industry. I'm Dave Rettelberger.
And I'm Paul Hooper. We'll introduce you to incredible guests who journey with us as we dive deep into the world of venues, tours, festivals, and everything in between. Grab your laminate and meet us in Venueland.
Today's episode has us heading down to Houston, Texas. When Paul and I were getting near that 100 episode mark, we started talking about, some things. And we recently did our episode where we flashed back to some of our favorite moments of the podcast. And I shared that my favorite episode always be our very first episode we did with Nina Jackson. And, in that episode, believe it or not, we recorded in November of 2020. Industry has changed quite a bit since that time, and we thought, hey, as we're nearing that 100 episode mark, we should check back in with Nina. So please welcome today's guest, Director of Marketing and PR at SMG NRG Park, Nina Jackson. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Welcome
Great.
Back.
First return guest, only return guest we've had.
Wow!
But it felt like a great
I'm
synergy to bring you back. We had you at 1. We're gonna bring you back at 100. It's great. It felt awesome.
And when I'm nearing that age, wow, look at that.
Well, Nina, I feel like we all have aged a lot since November of 2020.
That's true. It was dog years.
Boy, we recorded the episode in the fall of 2020. What you been up to since then?
Oh my gosh. Well, we have really, really ramped back up. Just this past year, we've had, so many great stadium concerts. We've had 3 nights of Taylor Swift. We've had 2 nights of Beyonce, the Renaissance World Tour. We've had Karol G. We've had Luke Combs, 2 nights of Luke Combs. We've had Zach Bryan, the Quitting Time Tour. We've had Ed Sheeran. And
a little bit of everything. A lot of Beyonce fun.
Yeah. And
Yes.
in addition to our annual business, the Offshore Technology Conference, the Auto Show, the Boat Show, the Gym and Jewelry Show, the Dog Show, Disney on Ice, Monster Jam.
Yeah, for folks who, again, episode 1, it remains our most listened to episode because people always kind of start there, right? And they like to check out the very beginning. So, but for people who haven't listened to that first episode, or maybe haven't listened to it since November of 2020, tell us a little bit about your job and a brief overview of kind of what's going on there, the venues, I guess.
Okay, so NRG Park is a 350-acre sports and entertainment complex located, of course, in Houston, Texas, in Harris County specifically. And we host over 500 events a year and over 5.5 million people a year. We have the 72,500 seat NRG Stadium, which is home to the NFL's Houston Texans and the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, the world's largest rodeo. And we also have the 1.4 million square foot exhibition center, which is NRG Center, and then a close to, I think we have about 7,500 to 8,000 seats in the NRG Arena, which also has some exhibit space, about 350,000 square feet of exhibit space. And then along with 26,000 on-site parking spaces. And so we use that outdoor space for events as well, like for ride and drives and things like that.
So been pretty quiet then overall is what you're telling me.
That's what I'm saying. I sit here twiddling my thumbs.
What's your role with all this fun?
Day to day, it is Director of Marketing and Public Relations.
That is a lot. As we talk to a lot of people that have these big campuses like that, and it's a whole lot of pieces, a whole lot of personalities, a whole lot of gathering and pulling people together to make it all work. But you seem to do it so well, and
it's the staff. It's the staff. Of course, I would say that we have the best staff in the business, but I'm sure everybody says that for their venue. But I certainly feel that we absolutely have the best.
You seem to have a very fun staff because if people have not seen your Kendrick Lamar announce video, you need to go check it out on social media. It's
Paul
very
sent it to me as
funny.
soon as it came out.
Yeah, it's so fun. And Nina, I don't know if that was your official acting debut, but you really
It
crushed it.
was.
You were very like like get him, get me Kendrick Lamar, like very sold it. You didn't crack and laugh any. It was wonderful. How many takes did that? Was that first take?
Yeah, it was. It really
Of
was.
course.
I have an intern that is, I really believe he's going to be a director. Because he would say, okay, this is, this is what I need you to do. This is the sentiment, like literally, I feel like what a director would say on an actual set.
Sure.
And so, yeah, but it wasn't hard to, because you have those days when you're trying to get a hold of somebody and wait, okay, no one is answering. I mean, I could get into that just like that because it was like, I've been there. I'm trying to call somebody and no one is answering. I have to get up, walk around. Where are the people? Where are the
Right. That is so funny. It was so great. I just
people?
think it's so, in the world of many different
Literally, I
types
tried
of
to get out of it.
announcements,
I
it
was
was
trying to get out
wonderful.
of it. I was like, they were like, Nina, no, we really need you. We need you. We need a boss. I'm not a boss.
Well, you played the role well. You
Isn't there
acted the
anyone
boss.
else that can do it?
It's
That's
so
it's
great.
great. No, it's great that you're having fun down there. Now, right before we started this podcast, you were putting your phone on Do Not Disturb, and I wonder, did you have to do that during the Taylor Swift run? How did you handle all the ticket requests when you're hosting 3 nights of Taylor Swift? Because I know that we used to, again, we had them during the arena days, but this was off the charts.
Yeah, it was. It really was off the charts. And you are so correct. I mean, there were so many requests, so many requests. Like, I mean, a random media person from California sent an email
Oh my gosh.
saying, you know, you don't know me, I am a stranger, but I am this person with this media outlet. And I gave us like a top story. I don't know, my daughter, I'm coming to Houston or something with my daughters and my nieces live there. And we're just wondering if we can if there's any way we could buy tickets. I don't know. I forwarded the request to, you know, Taylor's people, and I think they helped him out. I think they did let him buy some. So
Wow. I was actually just talking to someone about Taylor Swift and how it uniquely, I feel like, was this thing that people who don't even work at those venues were. I was getting them because people knew that I knew people at different venues.
right.
And they didn't even know that I knew someone at that venue, but they would say, "Hey, Paul. I see Taylor Swift's going to Minneapolis. Da da da. Do you know someone there? Could you get me front row tickets?" And I'm like, first off, I haven't talked to you since second grade.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Secondly, if I'm gonna make that ask, it's definitely not gonna be for the person that I haven't seen since second grade. But
Right.
it seemed to be so broad.
I
Yeah.
know. It's funny too because I mean I like all genres of music. I think when you're in this industry because you're exposed to so many different artists and genres of music, you become, I think, appreciative of all different kinds of music. So yes, I'm a fan of Taylor's music. Do I consider myself a Swiftie? No, I don't. But I can appreciate, I do like her music. Well, my team had decided we should all go buy Taylor t-shirts and wear them under our blazers, right? And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I will, so get there, and I'm like, because we just had to buy them just like everybody else. And all of a sudden I got sucked in. I started drinking the Kool-Aid. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh wait, yeah, I should get one of those t-shirts. So wait, everybody's buying that? Okay, wait, like, and it's hard to come by now, and you just got a new replacement shipment or something. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that sweatshirt, that t-shirt, this.
Next thing you know, you look down at your arms, they're covered in the
Yes, I have
bracelets.
all this merch, and it's like, what am I doing? It turns out though that one of our people in the building in Baton Rouge, she was a big Swiftie and was not able to get the sweatshirt that I did buy, and I hadn't worn it at all, and I ended up, selling it to her.
That's so nice.
Because once my rational brain cells kicked back in, right, and thought, why
Yep.
would you buy all of this stuff?
We've all been there. We've all been there. And Paul, you mentioned you're that friend from second grade. I think we've all been there when it's Taylor Swift, it's another big show, and you have a friend call you, and you know why they're calling you. So, but
before they even talk.
you sit through the first 10 minutes of,
Let's just
hey,
get it
buddy,
out of
how's
the
your
way.
family?
Yeah,
What's going on?
exactly.
Hey, while I
Exactly.
got you,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
right. That's right.
Here's a random thing I saw in your Facebook feed so that we can feel like we're actually friends.
Yeah.
And while I've got you, is there any way that,
That's right.
oh my gosh.
so Nina, obviously, some big things in the industry, kind of how ticket sales have been, and I just, one of the things that we're kind of seeing, I think, across the industry is, you know, out of, in 2022 and 2023, everything was selling, and ticket prices went up and everything. And now it's kind of coming, you're starting to see a return to, I don't want to say normalcy, but just kind of a slight cooling off, and still some really high ticket prices on things. And what do you think? How are we going to deal with this in the industry? Because of course it comes down now to us. Now as marketers, when those tickets that are 50% higher than they were at a time when we're already in high prices on other things too, and people aren't necessarily buying as much from a marketing perspective. What are you seeing, and what do you think that we can do as marketers?
I know it. I think, and a lot of what we're having to do here is like out of the box thinking, what can we do? Maybe trying to partner up with maybe some small businesses to see if that works. Back to, some of the grassroots stuff, contesting. Again, social media is a big thing now. I mean, and so like the Kendrick Lamar announce video, trying to do things that maybe will capture someone's attention and spark some kind of interest, and hopefully, get them to go ahead and buy maybe where they're kind of on the fence. But again, yeah, I think I feel like we're having to do a lot more work, a lot more.
It definitely seems tricky. And it also seems like there is this balance back to where post 2020, when everyone was going back out on the road,
Yeah.
now people have gone out in 22, 23. And so some of these artists are taking a year off. So I do think there is this natural thing, like Dave, you said, where it's a little bit of a evening out. The pendulum's swung very extreme one direction,
It's
kind of
still killing it, right? But
extreme the other
Yeah.
direction, but it is just, going back a little bit. But of course, whenever you dangle a little bit of the money to some of those bigger
Yeah.
decision makers, way above us, they don't want to see any of that go away. So there's
Yeah.
always that expectation is still really sky high, and definitely a lot of pressure and trickiness to try to meet those demands.
One artist, we had a comedian. Well, we have like three comedians on sale right now. I think that's another comedy that's I
Huge.
think
Yeah.
really, yeah, it is. We had Nate Bargatze playing in our arena. I think that was last year, and he ended up doing three shows. And amazing. And at the time I wasn't familiar with him, but now like he was just, hosting on the Golden Globes. So yeah. And was on Saturday Night Live. He's been on Saturday Night Live like twice.
yeah.
Yeah, it does seem to be a huge thing, and it feels like even the names you mentioned with like the stadium runs you've had, way more than you probably were getting 6 years ago.
Right.
Way
Yeah,
more.
exactly.
A lot
Way
of
more.
artists that
That's
would
right.
not even be dipping their toe in the stadiums, and
Yeah.
now they're
Well,
doing
Zach
stadium
Bryan going
shows.
straight from Nowheresville to we had him 2 nights at our stadium, both
Yeah.
That's
nights at
crazy.
capacity.
That's
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. That's right.
Office culture is another thing that has changed quite a bit as we look back over the past 5 years. And you talked about that, your staff. And, was wondering, what are you doing with your staff these days as far as I just, there's a kind of a difference in attitude and expectations than pre-pandemic. And how are you keeping the culture and the workplace vibrant and alive for your staff there?
Well, we've tried to implement more, communication. Communication is key, right? So we're actually having more meetings. So we'll meet at the beginning of the week and then we'll meet again at the end of the week. Some of the other things to do brainstorming and trying to make sure we're executing correctly, and making sure nothing's falling through the cracks. And especially since with these announces, the promoters are wanting these out of the box, announces and, on sales, and, what are you going to do?
Hey,
What
this
are you
one's
going to do
really
here?
special.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Right.
And also like just small things like for their birthdays or whatever. I'll take whoever's birthday, go to lunch and just pay for everybody's lunch, have a birthday cake, just, try to do some small things like that too, to show appreciation and to let them know that they're valued and that, I consider us, family.
I think to your point too, they're a great resource for those outside the box ideas, right? Because it is
Yeah,
these people
absolutely.
that are of different generations than
Our
us.
brains have been tapped, Nina.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
If I had a good idea, I used it 20 years ago. I'm telling you.
Exactly.
That's exactly. That's right. I call them into my office and let's have a brainstorming session. Okay, go.
Yeah. We're storming your brain, actually.
Yeah, that's right. You go. You talk.
When you're, I know you're singing the praises of your staff there, and so obviously, hiring is a big piece of that. What is your process for hiring when you are looking for somebody, and wanting to add somebody to your staff? What do you do to make sure that you've got the right person? Or what are you looking for in people as well?
A lot of it depends, like it depends on the skill set and the strengths of this current staff. Like if we have someone that's already strong in graphics, then maybe we look for someone that either has the social media skills, the data analytics skills, or writing ability. If we don't, maybe the graphics person is the last person that left. Then we're looking for more someone that has those graphic design skills or photography skills. Looking for interns maybe that have video editing skills.
Absolutely.
Filling in, knowing the strengths and the skill set of the staff you have, and then looking to see what holes need to be filled. What are those skills that need to complement what you already have,
Yeah.
For the person that's out there looking for that gig, what are you looking for? When you're, obviously that they've got the skills, but what makes somebody seem like the right person for you? What are you looking for in a great job candidate?
Like a fit thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. A fit. And so a lot of times I'll have, the other staff members, 2 or 3, as part of the interview process so that, we can all kind of get a feel for that interviewee and just see if we think that, there'll be a fit, because it's important. I mean, we work a lot of hours, a lot of days, hours together. And,
You're dressing up in Taylor Swift shirts.
Yeah.
You gotta have someone willing to jump in
willing
that
to do
trench
it.
with
Willing, that's right. Someone that is willing to jump right in there.
You need to ask them that question on future interviews. Okay, so scenario. We're at a Taylor
yes.
Swift show. We all decide to go buy matching t-shirts.
Would you be
Are you
willing?
getting in line with us, or are you rolling your eyes?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's a make or break question.
Yeah. Or would you protest?
Right.
Hey, so for folks who don't know, talk to me a little about the rodeo and kind of how that's evolved since, what you went through from 2020 to where you are today. Because we say rodeo, and for folks who don't know, they don't know.
Yeah, that's right. If you don't know, you don't. That's exactly right. Oh my gosh. The rodeo it's the world's largest rodeo. So I think it's roughly 21 to 20, I think it's 21 to 25 days, let's say, because the championship barbecue contest is a part of it.
Dave's freaking out right now in his head. Championship barbecue contest.
In my mind, Paul, you're right. Because I was thinking, I wonder if I could be a judge. It's exactly what I was thinking.
How do I aim my career path to land as a judge of the championship barbecue?
You got to come out here and experience it. But anyway, they bring in 2.5 million people roughly during that 21 to 25 day period of time. They take over the entire 350-acre complex. When the stadium show part of it starts it's like right around this year, it's going to be March 4th, because the barbecue cook-off is the last weekend of February. And then the concert portion, the Rodeo Houston, starts that Tuesday, right after the last weekend in February. And they have name acts. Actually, they're going to name their artists, this Thursday. This Thursday. But they have name artists. I'm trying to Luke Combs or Gwen Stefani. And now, it used to be like a mainly, country western, but now they've branched out and there's a Black Heritage Day, and I'm trying to remember who the artist was. And in the past, like Usher has been, maybe an artist for that. They've done Bun B's Takeover, Southern Takeover or something like that. But they have all different genres. The electronic,
Oh yeah,
you
Yeah,
yeah,
know.
yeah.
yeah.
And it's a unique kind of setup, right? Because isn't it like I think from just like photos or videos I've seen, it's essentially the stadium set for like a rodeo, but at the end of it, they have this sort of, stage that sort of floats in the
Right.
middle in the
Yeah.
round
Yeah, that's right.
that they put this artist on that can be a
Big
mix
artists. Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Blake
big
Shelton.
artists.
I'm trying to remember people. Blake
And
Shelton.
some of these artists are
Yeah.
used to having a stage that's as big as that floor. And now they're on this in the round thing in the middle of a rodeo ring, but
Yes.
it's these big, huge names. I mean, it's
Yes,
so
it is.
unique. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. It is something everybody needs to experience it because like you say, you can't get the full effect. When you say rodeo, yeah, it's just yeah, you really have to experience it.
Speaking of rodeo and cowboys, we kind of mentioned this a little bit before we started recording, but obviously there was and I know it's the Texan side, but you said you were there. There was the Beyonce Bowl, colloquially named, but also what it's called on Netflix. And what is that kind of experience like seeing something like that? Obviously, you've had Beyonce play the stadium. You said you had 2 dates of the Renaissance tour.
Yeah.
She's played the rodeo before,
Yes, she has.
but it's got to be really cool on another level with this whole album that she's come out with that is so rodeo Texas centric. And it's like pulling in. I mean, I'm not a huge Beyonce fan, but I work with one.
Yeah.
And he came into my office. He's like, Did you see? Did you see? She got these people, and it was like the first blah, blah, blah person that did this. And this was the first, Miss Rodeo that was a person of color. And this was, da, da, da. And like, these people have broken down her performance. And it was like this insane, sort of like amazing presentation that paid homage to so many people and
It was like a
cultures and the
Super Bowl. It was like a
history.
Super Bowl
It,
halftime.
it really
It was
was.
like a
People were
Super Bowl
like,
halftime.
how do you top that with the Super Bowl? Like the
I
bar
know.
was set so high.
Yes, it was amazing. It really was amazing. And I was even looking at Good Morning America this morning. So Post Malone was one of her guests and
Yeah.
Shabuzi.
Yeah.
Shabuzi. Yeah.
Shabuzi, right? That he was one of the guests too. Well, this morning, even on Good Morning America, they showed a clip from it, and they said that apparently Post Malone and Shabuzi went to a small bar here in Houston somewhere. I wasn't even familiar with the name of the small bar, Railroad, something, on Christmas Eve, okay, because the game was Christmas Day.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently the bartender was a single mother and had a 9-year-old, and the single mother was sad because she wasn't able to spend Christmas Eve with her child. And that single mother, the bartender, took a picture of the receipt, and Post Malone had left her a $20,000 tip.
Oh, my
I
gosh.
Wow.
know. And she posted that, he was just one of the most personable celebrities, that she'd ever met. And just when you hear stories like that, like,
That's
yeah,
so
there
cool.
are a couple of songs by Post Malone that I like, but was I a huge Post Malone fan? No, but now it's like, gosh, I'm going to be more of a Post Malone fan.
Yeah. And it does. I love too that there is this idea of what country and country music is kind of being really shaken up, right?
Yeah, it is. That's right.
There's this classic country, and then people think of pop country, but you do have these artists like a Post Malone, who's now doing
Yeah,
it. Beyonce's got this whole album, and
right.
it rocks the boat in this, I think, really healthy way for the genre because it is sort of, it's also healthy, I think, for the industry because you're seeing these artists that are really playing in different types of genres. They're reaching new fans. They're
Yeah,
also bringing attention to sometimes these older artists that other people didn't know. And you do this research and you
right.
say, oh, wow, Beyonce sampled this person or referenced them. And then all of a sudden they discover this other person who maybe was underappreciated for 20 years or something.
Yeah,
It's kind of incredible. So
it
it
is.
seems like that rodeo country kind of feel is really like just hitting a new wave.
Yeah, it really is.
What are your biggest challenges these days when you're, obviously very different again than when we talked in 2020. What are some of the things that, you as a, in this industry that you wish you could change, or things that, are again, not the funnest part of things to deal with these days?
Yeah, let's see. I guess it's now all of a sudden, with, because we've ramped up and having all these shows and maybe having those shows where they're like, it's not a full sellout, let's say, and there are those remaining tickets, and it's like, how do you get those tickets sold? And you have them not only in maybe a stadium show for the stadium, but also in our arena when we have like a lot of urban shows and then showing the social media love to all, not just the big sexy stadium events, but the dog show wants some love too, on
Right.
social media. So it's making sure you cover all that, and then you only have even if there's more than just one person, but again, having all these different venues and all these different events, and everybody, like I said, wants the love, so that can be a little challenging at times.
Yeah.
Absolutely. How's the city of Houston doing? Because I'm just curious, because you see a lot of times I've seen in Houston, flooding or this, yeah, obviously people never share the good news stories.
Yeah.
But I know it's an awesome place. So tell me what's going on in Houston.
Yeah, it's yeah, we're thriving. I mean, Houston is the fourth largest city, and we're located in Harris County, which is the third largest county. Yeah, we are thriving. I mean, and I think things like that Beyonce Bowl, I mean, it helps to, shine a spotlight, on Houston. Yeah. I think Houston is where everybody, I think, says it about their city, though. Houston strong, right? But I believe it. We all come together when there are when we need to, when there are times of like we just had a hurricane Barrel, and again, NRG Park served or helped with efforts in getting the community restored back to you know back to power. I think power was the main thing, but doing our part to help with that, and we always have. That's been a big part of what we do out here as well, is supporting the community with whether it's disaster relief or blood drives or food distribution or whatever it may be, backpacks, school backpacks to kids, as they go back to school.
Who's leading the charge on that from your side? Who's making the decision, or is the city coming to you asking to do this stuff, or is it
We're
somebody
we're,
on?
we're county owned, so it's normally, a county, and normally it's like our the head of the Harris County Sports and Convention Corporation, reaching out saying, hey, I've been contacted, by whatever agency or agencies, and then we rally together and make it happen. Whether because it's been several of the hurricanes, Harvey, Ike, of course, helping out with Katrina, so just, we were one of the major FEMA vaccination sites. We were we had a non-congregate medical hospital set up, on the property. So
I love always hearing about venues serving the community beyond just, providing entertainment, right?
yeah,
Because they
absolutely.
do sit in, the middle often of these different communities,
Yeah,
or, they're these huge facilities, and I think people do often see them as, a very important purpose of providing entertainment and fun and seeing an artist, but there's a lot of other days in the year, and
yeah,
I think uniquely they're situated with so much space, and so it is so great when you do hear about different venues, prioritizing and doing these like food drives or
yeah,
whatever it is, blood drives, like you said. Just how can we use this in a non-conventional way to really elevate and support our community, which then, the community sees that. So it's a great PR move for the venue because they know they care about us. So if I'm going to choose between going to a concert here or wherever else, like I know these people care about my community and me
yeah,
more than
that's
maybe
right.
the other venue down the street.
I know our our blood center, the Gulf Coast Regional Blood Center. They gave us an award because during pandemic and thereafter, and even now, just having those, I think we were having like weekly blood drives for them, and it was a time where we didn't, we weren't having events at the time anyway, but we were having regional, like weekly blood drives, and we continue to have blood drives. I mean, of course, not weekly anymore, but we still do, have the blood drives for them, and using the marketing assets to help get the word out about the blood drive, that's really beneficial to them. And yeah, they've just been so very appreciative, and it makes you feel good, right, when you, like you say, Paul, when you're doing things like that to affect the quality of life for the community that you're in.
Speaking of awards, this has happened since we last talked, but you obviously received an award from EVMC, now EVMC, formerly EAMC. But what was that like? I mean, it was obviously very cool for us, and we're all like seeing you accept it, but it was just so sweet, and it felt like there was so much love in the room and so much appreciation for you, but also appreciation from you for everyone there. But
What's it like
Oh
to
my
be a
gosh,
legend?
here you go again. Y'all getting me to tear up again, dang it. Oh my God. It was literally when I read the email and then I called Vanessa and I was like, okay, y'all know you sent that to Nina Jackson, right? Oh my gosh, it is so very humbling. It is so very humbling because there are so many of us out there, right? Doing great things, and we're all, doing great things and killing it, out there. And
But
so
sometimes we feel like we're all in our own little office somewhere tucked in our little corner of the world, and we don't feel as connected as we could.
Yeah, right. And it's just like, oh my God, I just thought, wow, I honestly, yeah, even thinking about it, like I say, it kind of makes me tear up because it was so very unexpected, and it was just awesome. It was awesome. Yeah.
That's so very much deserved. Hopefully you've got a
Oh,
good
thank
space
you.
for that award there. You either, you sit it on your shelf or somewhere, at home that you can
Yeah.
point out to people. I'm a
Look
Hall
at
of
this.
Famer. I don't know if you'll have
I
seen
know.
this Hall of
I
Famer.
know. Some of my staff that know I got it or whatever. There's one in guest services. He'll always say, "Look, there's Hall of Famer Nina Jackson." I'm like,
Oh, there you go.
stop it. Stop.
Stop it, Bill. Just a little
Keep
bit
it up. Yeah, keep it up. Stop it. No, don't stop. Don't stop.
Well, our time is almost up for today, as you got plenty to do, I know. But before I let you go, how's Nina Jackson outside of work? How's the family? Give us the update.
Oh, I'm good. My husband has retired, and I'm like, well, wait, that ain't right. How is
Wow.
that? Yeah, he's retired.
Is he
He's
driving you
loving
crazy?
life. My daughter was coaching at Lamar University in Beaumont, but she is now coaching at Colorado, and that is where she played her
That's
undergraduate
right.
basketball.
Some
So
great
full
stories
circle.
from that in
Yeah,
episode one. If people go back and listen, that's so cool
yeah.
that she's back in Colorado.
It is, and it's a very exciting time for her. She just recently got married, so that's exciting.
Nice.
Oh,
That's
it's
great.
great to hear. Well, hey, if somebody wants to check out the Kendrick Lamar video or reach out to you, this is the time to give out the plugs. Where can people find you or the fun content you guys are doing there?
We are at NRG Park on all of the social media platforms. TikTok, Instagram, um,
Blue Sky.
All the things
no,
everywhere.
no, Facebook. We're on Facebook,
Oh
Twitter.
yeah.
We're on Twitter too. Yeah, we have
I
we have some
know.
internal conversations going on
That's
about Twitter.
that's a whole different
Yeah.
conversation.
It is. It is. It is. Yes, it is. But and then also, there's nrgpark.com, our website, and you can always email marketing@nrgpark.com, and that comes to my whole department, including me.
Nice. And you can also watch the Beyonce Bowl on Netflix. It's pretty
Oh,
cool.
see?
On there forever.
No, can we see you in the crowd? Or you were not
That's
a
right.
background dancer? Is that correct?
No,
You're
no,
not a
no, I
She
was not. I
claims she's not a background
absolutely
dancer,
was
but if
not.
you watch
I
this, there's like
stop.
50
What? No,
people
no,
that have
no.
either an instrument or a cowboy hat
Nobody
on.
wants to
Like,
see that.
we don't
Oh,
Nobody
when
know.
wants
she's
to see that.
when she starts that Beatles song backstage and she's doing Blackbird and she's walking through the concourse, I'm like, "Where's Nina? Where's Nina? I know she's back
Nina's
there
the one
somewhere."
playing the
Oh my
guitar off
goodness.
to the right. Do you see her? We're starting that rumor. You're one of the background dancers.
Nina Jackson, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it.
you.
Always great to talk with you, my friend, and look forward to seeing you in Atlanta, hopefully for EVMC 25.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So great
Thanks
to talk to you about.
for entertaining
Thanks
us
for
too.
having me again.
Not only
Thanks for having me
once,
again.
exactly. Not only once when we are literally, we don't even know what we're doing, and we're like, "Are we going to launch this podcast?" And you said yes to us, and amazingly,
Oh my
we're
God.
still
And
here
then-
4 years
and then
later.
When you start talking, and it's like I'm just talking to the two of you, and all of a sudden it's like, oh wait. Podcast. You were
People are
recording
listening.
everything I said, huh? Yeah. Funny
It
how
was.
that.
It
funny
was
how I
so
forgot
great
that.
though. That's why it's like everyone's favorite episode. Is it just is a perfect encapsulation of
I
you
got
and
so
your
many
awesome
emails.
personality.
Wow, Nina, I learned so much about you. And I'm like, dang it, I know you did.
See,
Oh
and that's
my
what
goodness.
happens when you listen to Adventures in Venueland. Remember, you can subscribe and find more episodes wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. We do love your 5-star reviews, so you can help others find us. And when you're nosing around in there, if you haven't listened to the first episode, go back and find that. It is on there, and it's definitely worth a listen. Until the next adventure, I'm Dave Rettelberger.
And I'm Paul Hooper. Thanks for listening, everyone. Should we do it again on 200?
You're gonna start getting emails that say, "Stop it with the Nina Jackson. Stop it with the Nina Jackson."
We're just going to add you as another co-host eventually. Adventures in Venueland is a side project of the Event and Venue Marketing Conference, a marketing conference that brings together diversified event and venue professionals to cultivate education, collaboration, and innovation for the growing sports and live entertainment industry. Find out more at eventvenuemarketing.com.
Audio editing and mixing by Camille Faulkner.
Design and digital advertising by Megan Ebeck.
Copywriting and publicity by Samantha Marker.
Guest booking and brand strategies by Paul Hooper.
Guest research by Dave Rettelberger.
Marketing strategies by Paul Hooper, Megan Ebeck, and Samantha Marker. Thanks for joining us. Until the next adventure.